Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm very excited to join you from Valencia, Spain, although I wish I could be there in person, especially with such a thoughtful and engaged audience. Still, I'm very glad to be able to contribute remotely, and I look forward to the conversations and insights this presentation will bring. Today, we'll get a sense of the operational procedures and how multilingual communications work on the emergency line. We'll be looking at how the 112 system in Valencia, Spain is set up to be a genuine lifeline for everyone, making sure language isn't a barrier when time is absolutely critical. It's about accessibility in those really high stakes moments, and to really understand how this works, we'll pay attention to the nature of emergency calls, the role of the mediators and interpreters, or milicites, and the operational phases in multilingual emergency handling. This research is based on 4 years of first-hand experience as an English, Spanish milicite and 10 years of research at the university and inside the 112 Emergency Call Reception Center. So let's start with the bigger picture first. The 112 number was essentially set up as a single free emergency number designed to work right across Europe, available 24/7 when life could be at risk. In the Valencian region, it launched back in 1999. The Valencian 112 number was basically designed as a central hub, a coordination point. Its main objectives are, first, to gather the vital information from emergency calls efficiently from any point of the Mediterranean region. Second, activate the right emergency plans based on that information. And third, make sure all the different services, police, fire, ambulance, coordinate smoothly. It's all about managing communication when every second counts. In terms of the specific language regulations in the Valencian 112 line, there is a real commitment to making sure a wide range of people can get help in a language they actually understand. The 112 service is available not just in Valencian and Spanish, the official languages, but also in the major European languages, English, French, and German, continuously through the year, thanks to the multilingual staff on site. Victims and witnesses, therefore, have the perception that they are talking directly to the public administration when they need it most, without their telephone interaction having to be mediated by third parties or needing to wait to be redirected to an external language service, which intrinsically improves the call experience and the quality of the interview, which will have a positive impact on the resolution of the emergency. Multilingual support is just so essential in a place like the Valencian community, a major draw for both migrants and tourists, particularly the coastal areas, as you'd expect. This constant flow of people from different cultural and linguistic backgrounds means that being able to handle calls in multiple languages is absolutely critical for ensuring public safety and well-being. Demographics tell us that 15.4% of the population are foreign nationals. That's over 778,000 people out of just over 5 million residents. In 2024, a total of 22,791 emergency incidents in foreign languages were managed by the 112 Comunitat Valenciana service, out of the 3,451,425 calls received. Of these foreign language incidents, 17,798 were handled in English, accounting for approximately 78% of all foreign language calls. This data highlights the significant volume of English-speaking users relying on emergency services in the region, particularly in the southern province, Alicante. Seeing those numbers really gives us a concrete idea of the scale of the continuous multilingual support that is provided through the year. It's undeniably a critical resource for everyone here, residents and visitors alike. In the Valencian Emergency Call Reception Center, qualified staff deal with real emergencies. Their job is to collect the caller's demands and process the information to establish precisely where and what type of emergency is occurring. Likewise, the 112 call takers determine, through established operating procedures, which emergency forces are involved in the resolution of the incident and transfer the information obtained to the different emergency response teams, law enforcement and security, paramedics, and firefighters. To make the response fast and effective, the emergency authorities have developed a detailed catalog of incident types and a matching record of operational protocols. For example, an incident type might be a traffic accident. The protocol would then include pre-scripted and standardized questions to quickly find out the location, number of vehicles, injuries, that is, targeted questions relevant to a traffic accident. It gives call takers a structured way to handle all sorts of emergencies, so it's all very organized, designed for speed and getting the right information. The big target is rapid response. They aim to process the key information and get it sent to the right emergency teams in no more than 180 seconds. So, what kinds of emergencies most often need English support based on the data? Looking at the last reports, medical emergencies are overwhelmingly the most common incident types handled in English. Public safety incidents are the next most frequent, then traffic accidents, fires, and rescues. Multilingual 112 call takers must handle some incredibly intense and complex situations. Imagine someone calls and they need instructions for the Heimlich maneuver, but they don't speak Spanish. The multilingual 112 operator has to be that calm, clear link, relaying complex medical advice in real time. If the caller were a Spanish speaker, they would be transferred to a doctor, and that would be the end of the interaction. So, this job goes beyond simply translating the words being spoken. The situations are so varied: medical crises, car crashes, public safety issues, fires, even really sensitive things like domestic violence calls. It's about understanding the urgency, the context, the specific needs of the situation within that whole emergency response framework. This kind of emergency telephone mediation is a highly specialized field. It demands incredible speed, the ability to maintain absolute calm under immense pressure, exceptional linguistic competence in both languages, a deep sense of cultural awareness to navigate potential misunderstandings, and strict adherence to all the established operational protocols. Inside the emergency call reception center, you have the usual structure: supervisors, coordinators, and the call handlers. Within this last group, we find the accredited multilingual staff, well-trained call handlers in foreign languages, the millicites. These professionals wear two critical hats. They're the official voice of the administration, as they can make decisions in terms of emergency management and applying protocols, gathering vital information during the call, and relaying it to the emergency response teams. And on the other, they're also skilled interpreters and mediators. In light of this, I have proposed the term millicite. It's a Spanish acronym that stands for Interlinguistic and Intercultural Mediation, or mediator, through 112 emergency telephone interpreting. I must confess that I've tried to capture the complexity of their role with this new word, and it hasn't been easy, but I believe it now highlights that they're doing much more than just dispatching or telephone interpreting. It emphasizes the mediation aspect, both linguistically and culturally. This research actually breaks their job down into 5 main tasks: split across two phases of the response. The first stage comprehends steps 1, 2, and 3, the mediation process, and the second one, steps 4 and 5, focused on interpreting. Phase 1 is all about that initial call, the direct mediation. First, the millisite conducts the interview with the caller in their best language, English, French, or German, using prescripted prompts or questions to ensure all critical information is gathered systematically. Second, based on the phone interview, the millisites determine whether the situation is classified as an emergency according to the established incident catalog, and then they apply the necessary emergency protocols. Third, and this is crucial, they notify the corresponding emergency services, police, ambulance, fire department. Here, all the vital details are relayed to the Spanish-speaking emergency services. That is, the millisites input the key data in written Spanish into the central emergency communications system. And that written info has to be super precise, using the right jargon so that the responders know exactly what they're walking into. To ensure absolute clarity and efficiency with the local responders on the ground, standardization is key. So using the correct technical terminology ensures that the appropriate help, police, ambulance, whatever's needed, is dispatched rapidly to the correct location. Now, picture this. You're traveling abroad, maybe somewhere lovely and sunny like Valencia, Spain, and something unexpected happens. You urgently need help. How would you ask for help if you don't speak the local language? This is exactly what happened to this Irish visitor when he called 112. And I would like to show you how the Valencian emergency line responded to his call for assistance in this initial phase of the foreign language emergency calls management. What's your emergency?
Hello, we need an ambulance, please.
I hear you need an ambulance, sir. What happened?
There's been a car accident in Torrevieja with two cars.
Are you in Torrevieja City?
I don't know where we are exactly. Oh my God, there's a guy, he's trapped underneath the car. I'm begging you, please, get the ambulance here quickly.
Okay, are you in Torrevieja City?
Yes.
Okay, where exactly?
We're at the corner of Mayor and Arsenal Streets. It's right there on the junction.
Okay, just let me check, okay? On the junction of Mayor
Quick,
and
hurry up.
Arenal Street, sir, please. On the junction of Mayor and Arenal Street, sir?
Yeah, that's where it is.
Just send the ambulance,
Okay,
please.
okay, yeah. We need to know where we're sending the ambulance, okay? Try to calm down and then we'll help you. How many vehicles were involved in the crash?
Please, is the ambulance on its way?
Yes, please, could you answer my question, sir? You're in good hands, okay? We're going to help you. How many vehicles were involved in the crash?
Two cars, just two cars.
Are the cars blocking the road?
One of them went off the road and hit a bus shelter, and the other one is in the middle of the road, and there's stuff everywhere
Oh my
scattered
God,
all over
when
the
are you
road.
gonna send
There's
the
blood
ambulance?
everywhere, and a guy was in the bus shelter, and now he's trapped underneath the car.
Okay, he's trapped. Understood, sir. Is there anyone else injured?
No, just that man. Please, send the ambulance quickly. It's really urgent.
Okay, please, could you tell me if he's unconscious or conscious?
No, he looks like he's unconscious. He looks like he's really seriously injured. Please, come as quickly as you can.
Sir, one last question. Is anybody else trapped inside the vehicles?
No, they all got out of their cars to have a good look, and there's a huge mess here everywhere. Oh my God, it's just awful.
Okay, could you confirm your phone number?
Yeah, it's 699 999 999.
Thank you, sir. The emergency services have already been informed about it, right?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, during the call in the caller's best language, millisites must organize and select the relevant data through note-taking, and summarize the message. After this operation, they have to reformulate the information and relay it to the emergency response teams in writing in the official language via the call report through the integrated information and communication system that is shared among all police and fire stations and the 3 main medical coordination centers of the region. And they do all these tasks simultaneously. On the other hand, these professional mediators can explain in clear, fluent, and well-structured language how facts and arguments are presented, precisely explaining possible differences and pointing out sociocultural implications within an emergency setting. As you may imagine, the conception of an emergency and how to deal with emotionally charged situations varies among cultures. Milicites are trained to help a caller to provide an address, discern between what is reportable and not in a country, to get their vehicle released after being immobilized by the police, to understand emergency assistance and assistance costs, to fill up a complaint form, to pay a fine, to request animal control, or to even get a doctor to verify and certify a death. Phase 2 is more about the potential follow-up interpreting, if it's needed after the initial call is done. So the milicites need to stay available. Maybe the police arrive at the scene and need help talking to the Irish witness who made the initial call in order to fill up a witness statement. Or paramedics need to get medical history from an English-speaking patient. If the emergency responders on the scene need to communicate further with the caller or any other non-Spanish speakers present, they will call 112 and ask for remote interpreting. And number 5, beyond emergencies, they also handle non-emergency calls, providing information or directing people to other services from the administration. In order to do all this, they need specialized skills in intercultural communication, their ability to navigate not just the language difference, but potential cultural misinterpretations. Often under extreme stress and time pressure, that's what makes them different from a standard dispatcher or emergency call taker. So they're not just passive conduits of language. They're really managing that communication flow and actively involved in mediating the entire emergency response. To foster an optimal interaction environment, it is essential to reduce stress levels in callers by adapting to the circumstances of each conversation. For example, with a patient suffering a stroke with facial paralysis or a child whispering for help due to gender violence against his mother, a kidnapped person, we may need to use specific communication techniques. For example, use close-ended questions where we can provide them with a set of options to choose from, or even giving them the possibility of answering by saying yes, no. Other strategies involve active listening, repetition and paraphrasing, modulating the speed of speech, voice tone, using clear and simple language, personalizing the interaction and paying attention to paralinguistic codes are some of them. As we wrap up, here are the main things we should take home. We've clearly seen how the Valencian 112 system really prioritizes making sure emergency help is accessible in 5 languages. They've put significant multilingual support in place, and this research highlights the incredibly important, very complex and active role of those specialized call takers, the milicites. They are absolutely critical in bridging those language gaps during crisis. Their work is clearly a vital lifeline for so many people who find themselves vulnerable in an unfamiliar place. In essential public services, immediate communication is just paramount. The Valencian 112 system gives a really strong, practical example of how you can build in robust multilingual support right when it matters most. Thank you all for listening, and I'd be glad to hear your thoughts or take any questions you may have. Thank you.